Hiya! It's lovely to see you. My name's Nora. Most people call me Nana Nora, especially my grandchildren. I believe you know one of them. Norman? Yes, he's my grandson. Smashing little fella is Norman. Oh, he's told me all about you. He asked if I could tell you one of my little stories. Norman loves a good story, and he loves my story about a potato. I know, they're not much to look at, are they? But looks can be deceiving. Did you know there are 101 things you can do with a potato? You can mash them, roast them, boil them, bake them, chip them, and if you add garlic and cream, you can call them Daphne. Or is it Doreen? No, I think it's Delphine. Or is it Dolphin? Oh, now I'm not so sure. But potatoes aren't just good for cooking and eating. Oh, no. You can use them to paint. You can remove your rust. You can shine your silver. Yeah, all sorts of things. Anyway, that's enough of my nonsense. Let me tell you my little story. It all happened a long time ago when I was a young woman. The war had just started and my Harold had gone off to fight for king and country. We'd not long been married, and there I was, left at home, all alone. Oh, but there was plenty to do. We'd got chickens and pigs and a goat and some geese. They all needed feeding and looking after, and we'd got a big vegetable patch for me to tend. And that was just as well, because supplies were scarce. But I had enough to keep me going. The evenings were the worst, though, when I'd sit down after a hard day's work, all by myself. Well, I'd do a bit of sewing and a bit of knitting, and I'd look at my photo of my precious Harold. Yes, it was all I had to remind me of him. Oh, that and my ring. Oh, my ring served as a great reminder of our love, my wedding ring. You see, a ring is a sign of eternal love. It's a continuous band that has no end. It goes on forever. Oh, a bit like me, eh? Back to my story. So, it was barely spring, very early March, but I wanted to get my potatoes set in the ground. I'd kept a few back, you see, to chit them. Yeah, that's when you put them in a cool, light place so they start to sprout and get what we call eyes. There's a little one here. Well, my potatoes had plenty of eyes. Oh, yes, they were looking good. So I dug a trench and carefully placed each one in. And I covered them over with soil, scooping it and patting it down with my hands. Oh, it was cold. My fingers were frozen to the bone. Anyway, when I sat down later that evening, I realised something terrible had happened. My wedding ring, it was missing. Yes, it was lost. It must have slipped off my finger when my hands were so cold, but I hadn't noticed. But there you are. It was gone. Probably buried in the vegetable patch, never to be found again. Oh, I was so upset to no longer have the ring to remind me of our love. Well, of course, it didn't mean our love was lost. Oh, no, that was forever. Me and my Harold, yes. But, you know, this story has a happy ending. By late June, early July, my potatoes had multiplied and they were ready for digging up. Did you know you can get up to 10 potatoes from each one you set in the ground? It's quite a miracle, isn't it? Well, that's God's handiwork for you. Oh, yes. No, I only dug up a few, just what I needed for the week. And that night I sat down and I enjoyed some lovely new potatoes for my tea. But that's not all I enjoyed. Oh, no. As I took my second mouthful, I bit into something hard. Nearly broke my teeth, it did. Now, my teeth, that's another story, but we haven't got time for that today. Oh, no. So, I carefully spat this hard object out into my hanky, like this, to see what it was. And lo and behold, It was my wedding ring! How on earth had it got there, I wonder? Well, of course, a potato had grown around it while it was in the ground. It was lost, but now it was found. Oh, I was so happy. But do you know, there's a little more to this story than it just being a happy ending. Later that evening, as I sat looking at my ring, I wasn't just reminded of my Harold and the love we have for each other. No, I felt God reminded me of his love. I believe God wanted to remind me that even when we feel lost and alone, his love never ends. You do know that God loves you too, don't you? He wants all who are lost to be found. He wants everyone to receive his love, which lasts forever. Well, listen to me. I think I've gone on forever, haven't I? I must let you go now. It's been so lovely to meet you, and perhaps I'll see you again another day. Cheerio! Now, where was I? Knit one, drop one, stitch one, purl one. Oh, golly, look at the mess I've made. Cheerio!